everyone, and welcome to today's webcast, the fifth in our Transform Your Business webcast series. Today's webcast is Improve Maintenance Efficiency with Connected Field Service, Digital Transformation with Connected Worker Solutions. My name's Amanda Gordon. I'm the Senior Marketing Programs Manager here at Iconics. Today, we have two presenters. We're lucky to have our President and CEO, Russ Agrusa, here with us today. He's going to be presenting the slides for you today. And then we have Jotham Kilday, a Solution Sales Manager here at Iconics, and he'll be doing a demo for us today. And with that, I will turn things over to Russ to start us off.
Welcome, everyone, to this exciting presentation today. Today, Friday, April 3rd. We're going to have a very exciting presentation today on connected field service technology. So we have a slight agenda here. We're going to be talking about the megatrends and connected field workers. We'll be talking about the connected field worker solution that Iconics has to address this market. We will be going into the mobile application, guaranteed notifications, remote experts, and analytics, followed by a live demonstration. All right, let me tell you a little bit about Iconics here. Iconics was started in 1986. We have been in business 30 plus years. We have about 375,000 installations worldwide. Worked very closely with Microsoft, and we're a six-time Partner of the Year. We're Partner of the Year 2018 for manufacturing. We've also, our products run the Microsoft campus as part of their Smart Spaces initiative. About a third of our business is in what we call discrete manufacturing, which has to do with automotive and discrete parts manufacturing. About a third is in what we call process, water, renewable energies, and oil and gas. And the last third of our business is in smart spaces, where we are doing building controls and AI related to smart buildings. We're in many industries today. As you can see some of our examples, and for everything from automotive to food and beverage. I've done large applications in manufacturing, oil and gas, pharmaceuticals, some large applications in wind energy, the largest in Europe with MLG, over 10,000 wind turbines running on a SCADA system. We've also done quite a bit in water and wastewater, where our software runs on about 1,600 water plants. Let me tell you about the connected worker and the megatrends related to this. There's a digital transformation going on where we're trying to enable workers to be more efficient. You know, by 2025, about 10,000 baby boomers will be retiring. Companies are spending in the order of about $26 billion in training new workers as they come on board. Basically, there's going to be a shortage of about 2 million people by 2025, as we're finding out. This requires new technologies, especially in the area of connecting frontline workers to applications. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. How do you alert and do AI-driven operational insight? How do you use AI in the form of machine learning? How do you use AI in the form of fault detection and expert systems? Tying that in with remote expert video assistance. So if frontline workers go out to the field and are notified, they could also connect back to their remote experts. Augmented instructions and workflows. So when they get out there, there could be some additional information dispersed to them. And we drive improvements through predictive capabilities. Okay, so Iconics Connected Worker Platform allows manufacturers, industrial and building systems, not only to digitize, standardize on work instructions, but also to intelligently close the skills gap when onboarding new technicians. So our connected field worker solution runs on an AnyGlass platform. AnyGlass means that we can visualize on the desktop, on tablets with self-service dashboards, on mobile phones, for the frontline workers, and also on wearable devices such as watches, as well as headset-ready applications such as the RealWear on the right. So we can turn real-time actionable results, which might take simple hours and not months. So some of the mega trends that are driving the connected worker solutions, how users are solving the skills gap in automation. As I mentioned, there's 10,000 baby boomers that'll be retiring, and there's 2 million more workers needed by 2025. So there's a huge skills gap, and we see the connected worker solutions and applications really addressing that. How augmented remote assistants are helping in this coronavirus world. Today, we're working from home. There's still people out in the field in the plants. They need to communicate with the experts. They want to show them what they're doing. So there is this connected, augmented need out there. How remote experts and AI and fault detection are shaping the future of work, how we can predict what's about to happen so we can get people on site before these things happen, and how to generate automated work orders with popular CRM systems such as Dynamics and Salesforce. So trends driving the worker initiatives, of course, the aging workforce, the ability to use digital natives such as mobile phones, tablets, and watches, as well as wearable devices. Dynamic operations are changing continuously, and we're trying to take that digital transformation to the frontline worker. What's interesting here is there was a survey of about 275 executives, and by geography, by industry, by company size, who is out there implementing the connected worker solutions. There's a number of them out there. North America, of course, the US is leading with about 50% of people that are implementing currently connected worker solutions. In the discrete market seems to be leading this, where factory workers on assembly lines or in installations are using these connected solutions to integrate back to the experts that might be at the corporate headquarters. And you can see process and batch as well. And it's, majority of them are smaller companies, smaller than 500 million, that are taking advantage of this new digital transformation. Some of the other trends are, as I mentioned, the workforce challenges. We need to recruit, train, and retain people and address the huge skills gap that's coming. Enable organizations to learn and create the knowledge transfer. As the baby boomers retire, there's a lot of tribal knowledge that is going out the door with them. The IP goes out the door every night as they go home. How do you capture that so that you can bring the new people on board? Engage and empower frontline workers by giving them their, many people, millennials and so on, are attuned to all the new tools today. We need to push that digital information out to them so they can be more productive, and driving productivity, safety, and quality improvements. What's interesting here, of the top 30% of companies that are succeeding using connected workers, there's been a lot of progress made by corporate seeded value, about 25% seeded value of this, and are implementing these systems today. So collection of data provides frontline workers with a number of important things. If we take our CFSWorX, Connected Field Service Worker technology, we're pushing this out to remote experts. We're pushing it, giving people operational insight. We're also giving them augmented instructions on what to do. So you're bridging that gap with new employees and new training. So we can improve the productivity tools, improve skills, and cost effectively train new workers. Now, the data types that people are getting today is multiple sources. There's customer data, there's financial data, but right here we're looking at the chart on the right. We see that there are companies that are followers and there are companies that are leaders. The leading companies, which are in dark green, are taking advantage of the new connected field service capabilities and primarily applying that to OEE, uptime, performance data, quality data, machine metrics, and the digital work instructions. Those seem to be the big three in the manufacturing side. So what are we doing with that data? We're pushing that out to frontline workers, and those are the types of data that are most commonly requested. Here, there's a number of data types that we're connecting VWorkers to. We're looking at information coming from the workers in terms of inputting data into kiosks from the plant floor, information access, maintenance worker orders available on their mobile devices, so when they get out to the field, they're actually interfacing with what they need to do. In context information, this is the use of augmented reality in the form of video and head-mounted displays, so they could use hands-free operation. And then there's predictive and prescriptive. And predictive primarily is collecting lots of data on the process, on the machine interactions, and then taking action on that large amount of data. And prescriptive, we're actually predicting based on that data what the recommendation should be and what to do. Okay, so those are the types of connected solutions that are there. Let me give you a couple of typical connected worker applications. They really break into about 6 areas. Using the connected field service technologies, which we will demonstrate in a few minutes, there's training and instructing people. There is complex assembly. How do you, if they go out and they're doing something, how do you augment and do that in real time at the field level, at the frontline level? There's safety issues. You get out to a valve, don't open that valve. You could get yourself into a problem. So you want these systems, your phone, your wearable headsets, to really interact with you and advise you as to what to do. When you get stuck, you can talk to the remote expert. And that's someone at the factory, an engineering person who could be looking at a video stream and advising you on what to do. So interacting with the frontline workers from a real video stream, especially today with the coronavirus going around and everybody's locked up from home, working more remote than ever. So connected field service has real relevance today in the age where you can't get to the plant, you're locked down, people are located all over the world. So having access to the experts, really important. Quality assurance, where you're inspecting something and you can actually get advice as to if that's acceptable or not, or within parameters. You're getting real-time quality feeds directly on your devices. And of course, equipment maintenance. What do you do when something breaks? How do you have something augment and give you instructions on how to fix those things? So the remote expert solutions are primarily training new people, because we have a big gap coming up with 2 million people shortage by 2025 and 10 million baby boomers retiring. It's a big issue. So training, installation, field service, maintenance, and repair, good use of the remote expert. The connected field frontline solutions, quality assurance, checklists with associated data collection, escalations and notifications, being able to post job logic on their devices, easily integrate with existing business systems. So everything is right there at their fingertips, giving them some advanced dashboards, and also on the back end, based on the data collected, giving them predictions on what to do. Also, there's safety applications where you're getting out and you're looking at you're at a switch yard, you're looking at throwing some big pieces of equipment, some switches, and you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing. There's safety issues involved in a lot of frontline work these days. Equipment setup, the elimination of paper, very important. Being able to augment instructions with rich media, including some videos, images, tell them what to do. They could watch a video, how to do it. Easily integrate with existing business systems and integrate remote expert capabilities when necessary. Audit, inspection, full feature checklists, escalations. These are same feature set can be used in all of these different types of applications. So many uses for the connected driven platform, and the connected workers in the middle of all this. And we have interfaces to IoT systems, to smart connected devices, to your BI and your advanced analytics, to IT systems, to robotics, to edge computing. Really, you're getting a flood of information from all these that needs to be organized in a way so the frontline worker can make sense of that. So the CFS Connected Worker Platform overview. Let me tell you a little bit about how Iconics has come up with a product that addresses this. Now, we've had over 30 plus years of HMI and SCADA systems, and we've been doing interfaces to some of the largest projects in the world. Recently, we won the San Francisco airport. We're doing 42 buildings and runways and baggage handling systems. We're completing the LaGuardia Airport New Delta wing right now, all the way to doing very large campus and manufacturing applications. So we have a lot of experience. So we've built that knowledge into this new product we call Connected Field Service Worker, or CFSWorX. We like to give works to a lot of our products, keeps it easy in the naming. So CFSWorX allows the back end collects this information that is part of the process and from all these different sources, and allows you to dispatch field workers based on schedule. So we want to get the right person on the problem that's the closest to the problem, okay? So if you have a water treatment plant, or you have a building and the elevator broke, or you got a spill at a water treatment plant, you'd like to get the person that's closest with the right skills, that's not on vacation. So you need to get their schedules. You need to know what their skills level are. You need to then determine based on their phone access that we know where they are, and then we can dispatch the right person on the problem as quickly as possible. And so that's part of the connected field service capability, to dispatch the frontline workers to the problem as fast as possible. We want to make sure that we get guaranteed notifications. You know, when you send someone an email, you don't know if it ever gets there. You send somebody a text message, it might get there, it may not get there. It all depends on the cellular service, if they're in the building, where they are. And so guaranteed notifications seem to be a very big issue with many customers. You know, if you're going to dispatch somebody an alarm or prediction, you've got to make sure that you have an audit trail that did get there, the message got there, they did accept it, and there is a guaranteed capability there. We have central operations dispatch solutions, so you can actually watch all of this, and there's essential dispatch capability. It could run on the cloud, it could run on your on-premise, and that is what's dispatching to your field frontline workers. There's an audit trail and analytics that goes on all these transactions. How many times did this person get dispatched? How many notifications were sent? And we're going to demonstrate a little bit of that audit trail and that analytics capability built into the product. Core to the CFSWorX is its rich mobile app for iOS and Android. So we have a mobile HMI CFS application that you download to your phone, and that would allow you to interact with the dispatch center. So it has dedicated and guaranteed mobile notifications that occur when you've got this app on your phone. And of course, there's workflows and escalation capability so that you can actually escalate this to the next person, or escalate this to others, and have an audit trail that goes with that. So what's the benefits? Well, we're trying to optimize our organization resources. You've got people on staff, you've got certain people that have more skills than others, you've got new people that are training. How do you optimize your resources? Okay, that's what we're trying to do on any problem. You're trying to get your best people, or you want to get a person that really knows, a trainee, to go out and take a look at a particular issue. Reduce downtime, improve efficiency. I mean, if you can get dispatch people right away to problems, you can meet, you may not get into EPA issues, safety issues, personnel danger issues. So you're able to reduce the amount of downtime and improve the efficiency. Empower frontline workers. We want to give them tools right there at their fingertips so they could actually do something with this. We integrate with, of course, CRM systems like Dynamics 365, Salesforce for work order integration. So, we can generate, the system can generate a work order directly to the work order system so that it's processed as a normal work order. So if we detect or predict there's a problem based on monitoring all the sensor data and the various systems out there, we can automatically generate work orders, which is an important piece to keep track of all these things that are going on. And many companies use work order systems to actually operate. We integrate with Active Directory, which is important. So if someone were to leave, you basically you disconnect their accounts and that sort of thing. So there is a built-in intelligent, flexible workflow logic capability, which is we have worker location awareness, and you can change the escalation and intelligence of the system with this workflow capability, and we'll show you a little bit of that in a few minutes. CFSWorX platform. It is a platform, so it does connect to real-time monitoring and field equipment. It does provide real-time monitoring of service worker availability and location, so we have to know where everybody is and their availability and their schedules. We generate alerts to the field workers when the field equipment requires service. Okay, there's automatic notification. We have an algorithm that selects the most appropriate or closest service worker to the problem. So there's a lot of intelligence there. And we maintain an audit trail and analytics of notifications and activities. Key part of this whole CFSWorX is really in our frontline worker app, okay? You've got to give something to the worker. So we have a really nice application. We've had our mobile HMI out for well over 10 years. We have a lot of knowledge of how to create native Apple apps and Android apps and old Windows Phone apps. But the mobile HMI frontline worker app looks like this. You install it, and you now get notifications along the top. You get details. You've got maps built in, and then the mobile worker can accept the notification or can snooze, saying, "Hey, I'm going to come back to this in an hour. I'm busy," or says, "I'm going to pass on this." Okay, and then there's a button at the bottom that says "Call the expert." So that would give a video. You'll be able to see. He would be able to see what you're projected from the video cam on your phone directly to the expert, so they're interacting with you on a video augmented reality basis. So things that they can do: collects and reports mobile device health. So we're sending back device information from the mobile app as to location, battery levels, and things like that, because we want to guarantee the alerts and predictive faults do arrive. So the equipment monitoring works a little bit like this. So we want to guarantee notifications. So from factories and buildings, it goes to CFSWorX back end. It goes out through HTTP, and then we generate the notification to someone's mobile phone. Okay, so all of this is based on their location, their skills level, the type of alert that it is, and holiday schedules and that sort of thing. So very nice to be able to dispatch the field personnel to the right problem with the right skills. So alarms are exposed, say, in events. Faults are exposed as AI and predictive analytics. So we generate either alarms or faults. Fault is a prediction. That's something that comes out of our AI system for fault detection. And then there's the mobile client, which supports acknowledgments as well. Okay, so the mobile field worker health monitoring is important. When we install the app on your phone, we're looking at signal strength that's coming back to us, battery life, presence, location, and if you're indoors, beacons for indoor applications, because you may be working in a building and you got you're indoors and GPS doesn't work there. So you need to support both beacons as well as GPS. But we're collecting information on people's phones based on them installing this app. And normally this is a company phone and they're using it for company business, But if they want to use their private phones, they can use their private phones for doing these things as well. We're just collecting some of this information so we can guarantee that when we send a message, we know their battery's on, we know their phone is on, we know where they're located, so we make sure that we get the right person on the right problem. We also support SMS acknowledgments, and we have audit trail and extensible architecture. You can see a little picture here how we get the messages up through the mail servers, AT&T. We could also send email, we could send text messages, but the key thing is to be able to send a dedicated, guaranteed message to the phone so we know that people received it. A key part to CFSWorX is we have a workflow and configuration tool. So we're looking at our workflow engine. It graphically allows you to create applications with escalation and specific logic in it. Now, out of the box, we have standard things that it does. But if you wanted something more custom, you can add logic to that. And let's say, you would like, based on this priority of an alert, you would like it to go to the supervisor, or if it's above that level, the supervisor is not available, you'd like it to go to the general manager because the building's on fire. So there are ways of changing the escalation and customizing the system with a graphical workflow technology that we use in our products. So CFSWorX, you could see customize a workflow, ability to receive and consume alerts, faults, and alarms. We generate alerts and log them, and then we can do analytics on that as well, because now we know how many notifications have gone out. We can say this person received 13 notifications. He put 7 of them on pause. He denied receiving the others. What is he doing? So you can now start to see what your staff is doing. Now, once they're on site, you can use your tablet, your phone, and you can turn your camera on. You just push the button at the bottom, and that allows you to project what you're seeing. So if you're the field worker out in the plant and you're not sure which valve to turn, or you're not sure which switch to flip, or something doesn't look exactly as the manual said it would, it's been out there for a long time, you can video stream this back. You call the expert, somebody answers at the other end, and we're going to demonstrate this in a minute, and then automatically you start to see the video image, and the expert can annotate, just simply draw circles and put arrows and say, do you see this thing right here? This is what you need to open this door. This is the latch, and this is the fuse you need to change. So the expert can actually interact with you by annotating the video stream digital image that you're projecting. On the analytics side, once we've notified all of the frontline workers, we have a way of looking at average response time by worker, by name. You can look at how many total calls were handled last month, number of alarms that were responded to, faults responded to, priorities. You can see the workers on the left side, the skill sets that they have, and you can look at it by day, by month, by year. This gives you an idea of how you're dispatching and using your resources as optimally as possible. So the analytics goes with the capability of knowing what and who we're dispatching. Okay. Last key item is, of course, the work orders. You can actually generate a work order or receive the work order from Microsoft Dynamics or Salesforce. We're working on Maximo, and we're working on SAP and several others. So we hope to make the back-end work order systems more extensive. Today, it's primarily those two, but we see others in the future. Let me tell you a little about the most exciting part, the connected field worker using a RealWear. Now, you've seen the RealWear, which is a wearable headset, and it's got a little video on the front end of it on this boom. And that thing is a tiny little piece of glass, but when you look at it through your headset, it looks like a 7-inch tablet. Okay, that's the effect of it. From there, this is what you're seeing from that looking through that little piece of glass, and you're looking at robot, you can actually interact with it. You can say stop robot, you can preview, you can call an expert directly from your headset, okay, by using voice commands, hands-free operation. So we say call the expert, and then the button lights up, and then we're waiting for the expert to join. We're showing the expert our video view because there's a camera on the RealWear device, on the headset device, and then the expert kicks in, and there they are, okay? And then we can start to interact. You know, you could do things like mute the microphone, hang up the call, share a screenshot. The expert has an application on his other end that allows him to annotate and give you some directions, okay? On the incoming side, so the expert sees an incoming call, and there's a push notification at the bottom, very similar to how you use Microsoft Mail. You have push notifications, a new incoming call. They click on that, and that brings up the screen. So it opens up in the browser and has several buttons related to it. You can, reject the incoming call from this field worker, or you can accept it. Assuming that he accepts it, then he now gets a view from the headset, the RealWear headset, and we're going to support others as well, but the RealWear is a very nice industrial headset, very popular, and has a nice camera on it and voice capabilities. So what the expert sees here is exactly what the frontline worker is seeing, and the expert can then annotate and draw on this, and he's doing two-way communications using his web browser. So web browser to field worker, or to phone, or to RealWear. It's a very flexible system that way. Okay, so it can mute the mic so it doesn't hear any background noise. Many times you're in a plant that's a little bit noisy in there. Can hang up, could hide the video, can annotate the screens. Those are all the capabilities there. Before we jump into the demonstration, I just want to kind of set you up for this because I'm pretty excited about the demonstration Jotham's going to give in a second. So what we're going to demonstrate here is the mobile connected worker app, a remote expert and video annotation capabilities, the workstation dashboard and dispatch solution that runs on your desktop. This is what dispatches the field workers and the frontline workers. Workflow and configuration, how that is set up and how you use graphical programming to basically configure your system using flowcharts. And then we have our CFSWorX self-service and analytics dashboard for doing the analytics on the information. Okay, so I'll go back one. Okay, and with that, I'm going to turn this over to Jotham, who is our manager of solution sales group, and he'll be giving a demonstration of how this actually works. Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Russ. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. Actually, what I decided I wanted to do to start off the demo is start off with showing you on my phone. So it's a little bit new for me on webinars, so hopefully this works out okay. But seeing the broadcast from my phone right now, and I wanted to show you kind of the experience that a mobile worker would get on their mobile phone if a notification comes out. So when an alarm gets sent, in this case, I've decided to set it up to send a SMS message. You might have just heard it pop up there. Let me go ahead and click on that. Comes through as a standard SMS through the implementation on the phone. This could also be a phone call, SMS, email, WeChat, different, WhatsApp, all these different tools you could use. In this case, an SMS message came through. You can see here, it's instructing me that there's an alarm that's happened at a certain site, and to instruct me to go look at it on mobile HMI. So go back to the desktop and switch over to the mobile HMI app. Launch that here. Go ahead and connect to my server. I gotta log in. Okay, now that I've logged in, I can go ahead and have a look at the mobile app page. So this is kind of what Russ was talking about, the experience you might see on the device. I can, right now I'm looking at the active alarms that have not yet been accepted. You can see that across the top. I could also look at assigned alarms once that comes to that. But I can scroll through the different alarms that are come up that I need to look at. So looking through, you see also the accept, snooze, and pass. Now, if I were maybe working on an application, I couldn't really address it right at this moment. I could go ahead and hit snooze. You can see the CFS state changes and the CFS comments are updated in the system to track that I just enter myself as the mobile user. But as a mobile user, I've marked myself as busy. I can't respond to this alarm right now. On the other hand, if I wanted to, I could go to one of these and accept it. So that goes right to my accepted or assigned list. Same thing, it's accepted in this system. So this is kind of the workflow that we would use typically for CFSWorX to make sure that we're tracking the user actions and seeing how they're responding to those alarms. Once they've accepted it, we know who has accepted it and can follow through on that accordingly. Now, let's assume that I've accepted it. I drive to the site, I go to start unpacking, start working on what I need to do here. Maybe I need some help from back at the home base, back at the control center. As Russ was talking about, there's this call expert feature down here. So if I click that on the bottom, this will pop up and try to launch to the remote expert feature with the technician so that I can call to my desktop application. Oops, sorry, just log in. Okay, so there I've made it to the technician application. From here, I could go ahead and make a call to the application if I wish. I'm going to switch over to my desktop right now. Give me a second. Self center. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that still. So what we're looking at now is this is what you would be experiencing back at the call center, back at the dispatch. The technician application, you'd see a call coming in that you may choose to accept. It would pop up with this new message in call. Once I accept that, I would then be able to see the screen, have two-way video and voice conferencing with that person. Obviously, I'm not doing that today because I'm sitting with my phone and my laptop right next to each other. It'd be a lot of feedback for you guys. But the idea is that I could share the visual of what I see out in the field. The person back in the control center could be issuing instructions to them. If needed, as Russ mentioned, there's this annotation tool. I could use that to take a screenshot, draw on that screen, and give them notes and send that to the remote worker. This could be useful for especially complicated systems. It's not easy to understand, well, it's the 7th from the left or whatever it may be in the system that you need to adjust, or maybe configurations have changed. It's a lot easier to do that with a direct live feed if you can. So you can go ahead and do those annotations and send that to the remote worker while you're talking and communicating with them in real time. So that's part of the remote expert feature. It pairs well with CFSWorX. There will be more on that later in the webinar series today. I just wanted to focus specifically on CFS technologies today. So let me switch over to the dispatch view. So to give you an example of what somebody back at the home base essentially could be doing with the system, I put together this example where in this particular application, they have water filtration systems that are being used in a variety of different industries, right? So water filtration and cycling happens in food and beverage, it happens in oil and gas systems, it happens in waste processing, it happens in hotels, it happens in a lot of different restaurants. Anything that uses water may have some systems. There's a lot of different industry knowledge that would be needed by the remote workers. So in this case, you want to make sure that the skill sets of people out in the field do match to the alarms that are coming through. So this sort of dispatch or dashboard is something we usually pair with a CFSWorX implementation. The engine for CFSWorX will be running in the background, but when alarms trigger, you can go ahead and see those on the map. So if I wanted to look at a specific site, I could see that on the map, see the individual issue and where it's happening, and perhaps decide on how to dispatch the right people to notify for that that information. A lot of the dispatch can happen automatically, but there's also means that I can use as a centralized dispatcher to control that. You can see here all the alarms. These are the accept and busy signals that I sent just a few moments ago from the mobile app. So as a dispatcher, I can be sending out requests to workers, seeing where they are, but also seeing the feedback coming in real time from what they've accepted or not out in the real world. So let me turn it over to the workbench to show you guys a little bit about the configuration of how this is all put together. So Connected Field Worker is a new section of the workbench. It's down at the bottom here. I have some local configurations for my local users set up here. If you had a CRM system, so if you had Dynamics or Salesforce or Maximo, you might link to that and automatically pull in all of your mobile workers just to save you time. Some applications will call for hundreds or thousands of different field workers. It's not a good idea to have to enter all that manually. You want to pull that in from an existing CRM system if you can. So the information we're tracking on them is their the schedule, so you can filter by the different schedules that somebody may have. You can assign them to specific assets or groups of alarms if it's appropriate to say this worker is responsible for this regional section, or they are only responsible for this type of faulted equipment, therefore that specific asset class is sorted to them. And of course, we also track the email and SMS information for those users right here, and you can set up which ones are enabled for notification. So that's how we build up that list of workers that might be contacted, notified. And then for actual dispatch of messages, we go to the notifications here. So the templates, the workflows. Let me pull one of those up for you. Okay, so this is kind of a good textbook case or example of how the notifications typically work. These would be triggered on any sort of alarm you specify. So in this case, I set up different workflows for the building type of alarms versus manufacturing versus petrochemical, understanding that maybe there's different skill sets, so you'd have a filtered list for that. So first thing we typically do when an alarm is triggered is we go to the CFS engine and say, get me the list of viable people to contact. You can see here there's a lot of different options for how you filter that. In this case, I'm saying only give me workers that are building specialists. This is a group designation you can set for a worker. I do want to apply location restrictions. What this means is that it will try to contact the person closest to the physical alarm generation site as possible, and then work outwards so that you can get to somebody that is able to respond most quickly. You can, of course, also apply additional source or area restrictions, different time of day restrictions, but this is going to query CFS and build a list of workers, and then one at a time send out some notification. In this particular case, I used an SMS notification, but there's different blocks, of course, for email, for WhatsApp, for standard SMS messages, voice messages. You just drop those in. They all have slightly different settings, of course, but you just drop those in. That's how you notify for that worker. As usual, you might want to have some delay. So in this case, I'm just waiting a minute, give them some time to look at the alarm, ingest it, make a decision, and respond before you move on to the next worker. And then this is a block that is used here. There's a lot of different options, but this is saying continue to loop through this until somebody has acknowledged it. So if this person doesn't respond or they're busy, you're just going to keep going and contacting the next and the next and the next person in a list until you find somebody. That's a very standard configuration of how you would want to do escalation of alarms. Just to give you a slightly different example, this is same general workflow here, but then I also threw in an extra block at the end where you would be generating a report. So particularly for petrochemical applications, usually if it's anything to do with potential oil spills or contamination, you would want to have some sort of auto generation of reports that would be allowed to be auto sent out, say this is what happened, this is when the alarm triggered, this is the response time, these are the people handling that response. All of that data is being something that's available from the CFS system, so you can track it and include it into reporting if you need to. So just as an example of how you could adapt and modify this standard workflow setting. You can, of course, do other things like once you've assigned a worker to that, then go notify supervisors that it's been assigned, or if needed to, you might have some follow-up with contractors or third-party companies that need to be notified anytime an event happens. You can embed that directly into a workflow like this. So this is the primary configuration area. A lot of what's being done is being done behind the scenes in real time as a server. What we're showing you for the dispatch and the worker access is more of what you'd see in real time as a user. I also wanted to show you some of the capabilities for analytics. So Russ showed you the screenshot of this earlier. This is some of the data that we're pulling out of this CFS engine that's running, and we're feeding it into our CFSWorX dashboard. So all this is just connected into the standard data that we're getting over time from that CFS engine running. But to give you an example of the additional analytics here you can allow for is, because I have this real-time filtering, I can say, show me more details on the petrochemical specialists in the organization. You can see that's filtered my list of workers down here. It's also filtered a lot of the charting to show me just people that are responsible for that. Some nice things with the charting so that I can see, not only who is responsible for petrochemical applications, but the proportion of their calls within a month that were in that industry specialty. And then, of course, specific details on the calls, response times, and all that fun stuff. So just want to give you an idea. All of these are kind of building different technologies onto the core of those guaranteed notifications through CFSWorX. So taking care of the notifications is absolutely vital. Then on top of that, we can do a lot of interesting or useful things like the analytics here, the remote expert capabilities, the dispatcher dashboards, all kind of come with the broader suite of the Iconic solution. So that's what I had for the demo today. As I said, you'll probably see a little bit more of these things here and there in future webcasts. But for now, I'm going to turn it back over to Amanda.
Thank you very much for that informative presentation. Let me switch to my screen here and show you my conclusion slides. Okay, and now I'd like to talk to you about the Iconics Worldwide Customer Summit Transform 360. We recently rescheduled this in-person event to May 4th through 7th, 2021 at Foxwoods Resort and Casino in Connecticut. If you already signed up for the event and you'd signed up for the previous dates, we've just moved your registration already to the new dates, so no action needed on your part. If you haven't already signed up, I encourage you to do so. This event is going to be bigger and better in 2021. We have a number of exciting guest speakers lined up, as well as compelling demos to show you. If you register by April 19th, you can do so at iconics.com/transform360. We have a number of promotions that we put up on our social media pages from time to time, including complimentary registration promo codes. So I encourage you to follow us on social so you can see those and sign up. I really hope to see you all there at this live in-person event. I'd also like to share with you a number of on-demand webcast recordings that we have available at iconics.com/webcast. If you've enjoyed today's webcast, you can see the other topics that we have covered this year. And not only do we have these North American webcasts, but we also have a number of international versions as well. And we also wanted to announce today a CFSWorX special offer. It's going to help promote remote access and prevent the spread of coronavirus. And there is an availability of a free product that expires on December 31st, 2020. This will be available soon as a free download from iconics.com/CFSWorX. To register your interest in this trial, please email marketing@iconics.com. And you can also see the press release that we have on this at iconics.com/CFSWorX-free. And I'll let Russ speak to that more when we do questions and answers in a moment. And then the last thing is, while I'm taking questions and comments, just want to leave this slide up here. You can see our contact info for our presenters, Russ and Jotham. And you can also see a number of our solution sales people that you can contact. You can call them at this number, and here are their extensions in North America and international. So with that, I'm going to start taking some questions. I've got a number so far that have come in. So the first one here, and I'll try to get as many as possible. If I can't get to all of them, I will definitely email you offline with the answers. First question, I think Jotham, maybe you can take this one. How does the system know where the workers are?
Right. So in the mobile HMI app that I showed you at the beginning of the demonstration, we've added some settings that allow you to send back to the server with some device health statistics. So that's going to be, if you enable that, it'll send back statistics about your battery health, your signal strength, and your device location. So this is fed to the ICO Web API, which is a service that runs in Iconics, and CFS is going to be calling that. So it'll send back statistics periodically, 10, 15-minute intervals with the data about where the device is. So this is an opt-in feature, but if you enable that on the mobile device, it does send back usage statistics so that you can see where they are. And all I'm doing for the demo is I just take that data and I plug it into GraphWorks and an EarthWorks display to say this user was last checked in at this location.
Okay, thanks, Jotham. And Russ, here's a question that you could probably answer for us. Is this the same application as mobile HMI? Want to make sure you unmute yourself, Russ. Can you hear me?
Yeah, this application, we are using, over 10 years of developing mobile applications. We leverage the mobile HMI application. However, we built in some additional capabilities. For example, Jotham mentioned that there is, we have to call the experts. So there's a real video conferencing augmented reality tool that's been built in. So really the CFSWorX frontline mobile app, as I call it, is really leverage the mobile HMI technology, and then we've added a lot of other things to it to make it frontline ready.
All right, thanks, Russ. Next question, Jotham, how about you take this one? Will this app work with head-mounted tablet?
Yes. So I think Russ showed some of the example ideas of how it'd be used with the RealWear device. So the technologies that are used on head-mounted tablets, so RealWear, HoloLens, and some of the VR devices, they use the mobile HMI app as a store-based app that you can install onto the devices. So they would have the same technologies and capabilities there. So they definitely support Remote Expert, and they can also support the remote data callback for the device health if that's enabled on the device.
It uses any glass technology, so basically runs on tablets, phones, and including watches. We support the Apple Watch as an app, and iOS devices, Android devices. So pretty exciting mobile connected field capability.
Great, and another question for you, Russ. Are there plans to support other work order systems?
Yes, there's many of them out there. There's some specific to the buildings trade, Facility 360, for example. There's many used in manufacturing. For example, IBM Maximo, Tririga is another one that's used by Exxon pretty heavily. So there's dozens of them out there. We're going to pick the top 5 or 6, which include SAP, Salesforce, Dynamics, Maximo, and Tririga, probably the first ones that we'll do. That should cover about 80% of the market. So having integration with work orders, very important. That once we get these notifications that the proper work orders are generated, and we have that built in.
Okay, thanks, Russ. Jotham, I have a question for you here. In wearable, is there any offline mode or SIM-based device available?
So not entirely sure about what that means, but so the wearable devices, most of the ones I'm aware of typically don't have a SIM card that would be traditional for like a cellular device. They usually run as a local operating system. Some of them do have ability to be paired with a smartphone, which is usually how the easiest way to get going with something like the remote expert capability, where you could just pair it to the phone and rely on the cellular capabilities of the phone to enable the call. But by default, I believe most of them are designed to be running off of a Wi-Fi network, if that's available.
Okay, thanks, Jonathan. I'm just going to take a couple more as we approach 11 o'clock or our next hour here. So next question is for Russ. Is there a separate license required for CFSWorX?
Well, CFSWorX is a standalone product. It can work in conjunction with all our other products, but the idea behind it was should be able to do augmented AI, frontline worker capabilities. So it does have a product license. However, due to the coronavirus, we're going to make that product available for free to the end of the year. So people could actually get in, try it out, and use it, and hopefully don't have to go outdoors and avoid the coronavirus. That's the idea.
Okay, thank you. And Jonathan, we'll have you take this next one, which will, because it's almost 11 o'clock, will be our last one. Like I said, I got a number of questions that I'm going to follow up with you all offline. I will email you all. So Jonathan, last question here. Can CFSWorX be used to follow a procedure steps built into the app, sign off tasks, and report faults?
Right. So at this point, that's not something that is directly integrated into CFSWorX. We've done some pilot applications on my team where we've done this type of capability where we're tracking kind of like a checklist of actions that would be sent to the user. It definitely would have a likely ability to be tightly integrated with CFSWorX that could be the launching off point to sending somebody a procedure. But to be clear, right now, CFSWorX doesn't integrally have that capability set up in it.
Okay, thank you, Jotham, and thank you, Russ, for presenting today. Great demo, Jotham, and I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to join us remotely on this webcast. We encourage you to register for more today at iconics.com/webcast, and again, we'll follow up with you offline on the remaining questions. Thank you, everyone.
Great, thanks all. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending. Bye-bye.